We're back now at 7:42. Having starred in such thrillers as The Fog, Prom Night, Halloween, and Terror Train, Jamie Lee Curtis has been called the Queen of Scream, a title she's not all that excited about, she says. Now, once again, she's playing the victim in an NBC made-for-TV movie, Death of a Centerfold. It is based on the life and death of Playboy centerfold Dorothy Stratton, who was killed last August by her jealous husband. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning.
Nice to have you here with us.
Nice to be here, thank you.
The films you've made, that little list I just gave,
yes,
they've almost become a cliche, you know, with axe murders and things such as that. What is the most horrible thing the writers and producers ever dreamed up to be done to you in those things?
Oh, now,
No.
so early to ask me something. What did they do? I don't think they've ever really thought up. I don't think it's a thought-up process. Well, let's see how terrible we can make something happen to her. It's per script. It's per what the killer or killers are using as their weapons. I mean, knives and
sometimes it just seems so
scalpels.
Calculated to be horrible. That's what I meant.
It's a calculated thing, but that's what it is. It's a manipulative form of movie making. You manipulate the audience to react. You manipulate them to sit forward. You manipulate them to sit down. You manipulate them to laugh.
And let me ask you a question. Have your mother and father gotten used to the idea that they're now thought of as the mother and father of Jamie Lee Curtis?
I think they love it, you know. They want me to keep them in silk and velvet now, of course. They think it's wonderful.
Are all the dogs at home, by the way?
Oh, can I tell it real quick?
It has to be very quick.
Greatest story. Tom Brokaw, when he was in L.A., we lost our dogs, and he broke every rule in the book and went on the air and said that we lost our dogs and we found them.
Somehow we managed to make a news story out of the fact that Janet Leigh had lost her dogs that night.
But it was so sweet of you. It was really so nice.
We broke a lot of rules that night.
You know, when my mom did Psycho, there's the scene in the bed where she's wearing the half bra and the slip. And in 1961, that was equally as provocative as what I did in Trading Places. It's just 20 years later.
Your mother, of course, is Janet Leigh, and you have a very close relationship with her. Has it always been that way?
First of all, my mother is Pollyanna. My mother says gee whiz. My mom says gosh. Golly. She blushes if I say anything that resembles something that people would consider risque. She is a true lady.
How would you describe your relationship with your father? Was he a remote, glamorous figure for you?
He was more of a mythical figure to me. I heard a lot about Tony Curtis, and it was sort of like, are you talking about the guy who drives around in that funny car and we go out with sometimes? Oh, him. Oh, that's Tony Curtis. Oh, right. People paint these pictures of your parents, and you look at them as disciplinarians. And it's only as an adult that I'm learning more about them as artists and human beings.
Your father recently had a very successful stay at the Betty Ford Center for Drug and Alcohol Addiction. Now, I understand that you were very instrumental in helping him get there.
Do you call dropping him out of an airplane with cement blocks on his feet into the compound there? No, no. When someone is chemically dependent, you can't tell them they are. You try and try and try, and they don't listen. He went because he wanted to go. But unfortunately, it was almost to the point where he would have died, I think, in the sense that he was that sick.
Did you find yourself becoming his parent?
A little bit. But isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? I love that. I absolutely love that.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about you?
That I'm tough. People have this idea that because I have a low voice, I think that I'm tough. I'm not tough at all. I'm absolutely just mashed potatoes. I'm a little girl. I really am just a little girl.
Jamie Lee Curtis, whose recent films are Amazing Grace and Chuck and Dominic and Eugene, started in horror films but made a breakthrough when she played the hooker in Trading Places with Eddie Murphy. She talked about the comedy differences of an American Trading Places and a British Fish Called Wanda.
The Americans may have a tendency to be a tiny bit looser, just in their outward being, in the way they are as people. Eddie is very loose, very jive, very quick. John and Michael are a little more reserved. You know, I don't want to trash the British too much, but since the movie's sort of a Brit trashing and Yank trashing, you know, they're slightly stuffy, a little repressed, a little
held back. And so, in a funny way, I think the British are more outrageous because it's behind closed doors that they really go crazy. I don't pretend to have any sort of great game plan. I basically take every job that comes along and, you know, and see if it's something I'd like to do and do it. I don't have a big comedy game plan. I don't have a big drama game plan. I had no big horror film game plan when I first started acting. I've been acting 12 years. Me, little face, little baby Jamie has been acting. It's terrifying. And I don't ever profess to have had the luxury of having a big choice selection, and in a lot of ways, I'm preferred that way. I've gotten very used to just being sort of open to anything. And so I've tried very hard to really sort of keep myself in check. But there's this section of me in my own personal life that's nuts. And there does come a point where you say, well, when can I really use my abilities? Why hide these weird tendencies? And the only way to do it is obviously with a group of people who you trust.
And I'd like to think that would include us, because when I suggested we do this interview, not in the standard hotel room, but in keeping with the theme of the film in a place such as LA's Aquarium Stock Company, she agreed. An actress named Jamie Lee Curtis in A Fish Called Wanda.
Now, when you came into this project and you look at the script, you know, and it says the lines, then you turn the page and it says hanging out top of car, hanging from helicopter. Was all that there in the beginning?
Every single word. Yeah. I mean, it was part of another reason why I was, I guess, chosen is because I'm also strong and I'm brave. And I will go for it. And I said to him, I said, Jim, I'll do anything you ask me to do here. So if you want me to go up, I'll go up. You want me to hang out of the car, I'll hang out of the car. I'll climb on top of the car. As long as, you understand, it's not like we're being cavalier. It's not like we're being brazen in our bravery here and sort of like, oh yeah. I mean, this is highly thought out, trained, skilled professionals doing this work. So if anybody, if I'm going to do it with anybody, if I'm going to be brave anywhere, I might as well be brave with people whose job it is to make sure that it's safe and good.
But you did not have to go up and be wired onto a helicopter, did you? It could have been a double.
Well, it was a double for some of it.
But
Jim wanted to get some shots, and I said I would. The helicopter hovered. They wired me to the stuntman. You know, he and I are arm in arm, and Jim shot the shot that I did.
Cameron was operating the camera.
Hanging out of the front seat of it, standing on the skid, shooting down over Joel, the stuntman, to me. There was a moment where I did kind of go, this wire, that's it. That's a long way down. But I chose to not worry about it.
In addition to a very successful career as an actress, Jamie Lee Curtis has carved out a real niche for herself as a best-selling author of children's books. You have. Stop laughing. Her latest is Today I Feel Silly and Other Moods That Make My Day. Jamie Lee Curtis, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me again.
So you love writing kids' books.
I do. I can't believe I get to do this. I'm so thrilled that this has happened in my life, that something that I connect to so personally is a success, because it just allows me to feel really great.
Now, this is your third book, but how did you decide, hey, I'm going to give this a whirl?
I just wrote a book one day. I literally just sat down and wrote a book. My daughter said something amusing, and I sat down and wrote it and sent it to her. I mean, it just happened. It just happened very quickly.
And that was When I Was Little,
That was
right?
a book called When I Was Little, a 4-year-old's memoir of her youth, which just makes me laugh.
You really try to have a good sense of humor when you write these things, don't you?
Children's books are, particularly picture books, they're for children, but they're read by adults. So it's very important that you don't go over the children's head with adult humor, but at the same time you give the adults something to, for instance, just as an example, today I feel silly, Mom says it's the heat. I put rouge on the cat and gloves on my feet. I ate noodles for breakfast and pancakes at night. I dressed like a star and was quite a sight. In there is everything. There's something for kids, there's something for adults. It's funny, it's sweet. And then, today I am angry, you better stay clear. My face is all pinched and red ear to ear. My friends had a play date, they left me out. My feelings are hurt, I want to shout. I mean, parents and kids are going to relate to the book. And it's important that the parent likes reading it.
Right.
Because then they invest, and then that time together. I did a movie, a TV movie about a little boy who died.
Right.
A beautiful movie called Nicholas's Gift. And his father, Reg Green, talked about what he missed was the weight of Nicholas in his lap at night reading a bedtime story. That time that you have with your children that is so profound.
Besides starring in more than 60 films, Jamie Lee Curtis, wow, has sold more than 3 million books. The last one spent nearly 9 months on the New York Times bestseller list. And look out, she's at it again with her 6th children's book called It's Hard to Be 5, Learning How to Work My Control Panel. Jamie Lee, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
So this is your 6th book, man. You would just keep on going. What is the appeal of children's books for you?
Yeah. You know,
Sorry, was that a hard question?
No, it's a hard question because it's funny because it wasn't the appeal of children's books, it was that it was a voice that I found I had. I didn't anticipate writing books. I never thought in a million, I barely got out of high school. I think I got 400 on my SATs combined.
I was going to say.
So I am not a scholar.
You get that for writing your name right.
My point exactly. So because of that, I never thought of myself in any sort of intellectual capacity. I'm a very emotional person. And so I found that with children, the thing that touched me so much is the emotion that comes from it. And so all of my books have a very deep emotional component on top of this kind of very smart alecky place that I live in, because I operate in this sort of smart aleck world, and then I think underneath it all is this incredibly emotional person.
People have been asking you about Lindsay Lohan's troubles because you worked with her on Freaky Friday. You've said, you know, that it's none of your business, but you had addictions of your own that you've been very public about, to painkillers and alcoholism.
Absolutely.
And
by the way,
beating them.
But by the way, my recovery is the single greatest accomplishment of my life. And without that, the rest of my life would have fallen apart.
So how did you succeed, Jamie?
You know, it is the miracle of recovery. Some people get it. Look, Robert Downey Jr. was in prison for a year, and he is not only the greatest movie star in the world, he's a fantastic representative of someone who can repair the damage of their life. Recovery is an acceptance that your life is in a shambles and you have to change it. And I was lucky I didn't have to lose anything, but recovery and motherhood are the 2 single greatest things in my life. Writing books, you again, all of the rest of it, my lovely husband, all of the rest of it. The most important thing is my sobriety and my children.
Well, we're glad to have you here. Kudos
I'm thrilled
on both.
to be here.
Thank you, Jamie
Thank
Lee Curtis.
you.
The book is My Mommy Hung the Moon,
My
a love
mommy
story.
hung the moon.
You went to Comic-Con. I think it was your
I
first
did.
time ever going
Yes.
there.
The one in San Diego?
You brought down the house.
She
No
always
one
does.
brings down the house at Comic-Con in one line, but you did.
Well, they asked me a question about being there, and I
Where have you been?
I
Yeah.
quipped,
Yeah.
with no disrespect to Activia, but I did quip, look, I've been selling yogurt that makes you poop for 7 years. Like, I'm going to be happy to be here. Now, I say that, and it's important that you
Because you
understand
are happy
something.
to be there.
I was happy to have that job.
Yes.
And until they decided that somebody else needed to be their representative, I was very happy to keep that job. Because it was a product that helped people, and people told me that it was helping them. So I felt it was a good gig, and I was able to stay home with my family, which is my job. But this morning at 5:03, which is 2:03 my time, you know, I woke up to this day, and you know, I'll start to cry here on your TV show. You know, we've been working on the show for a long time, and today it's being born. And I got to tell you that if you don't think that I am so grateful at 56 years old to have this job at this moment in my life, when, as I said, I've done advertising for people, I've done some really terrible movies and TV shows,
haven't we all?
in order to live my life. And I just woke up this morning weeping at this moment in my life, like this moment for me. And you know, I thought about my mom, and you know, it's life on life's terms, and I'm just grateful, so deeply grateful. Well, I mean,
that's what the world's missing, don't you think, is gratitude.
But I think
people aren't happy, they aren't thankful for anything anymore, it seems like.
You know, I am. And I woke up this morning kind of feeling great and thought, wow, wow, this is happening right here, right now for me.
We love you, Jamie.
Thank you so much, Hoda.
All the
Very
best
sweet
with
of you to
Scream
say.
Queens. It's getting phenomenal
Yes,
reviews.
it is.
It premieres tonight on
2
Fox.
hours on Fox. It's a great, great show, and you will have a blast.
I'm sure. All right.
I like your crown.
Well,
oh, yeah, you want to explain to them?
Well, my friend Allison Robbins of Allison Robbins Wines gave me my crown because she's my girlfriend, and she said a queen needs her crown to go to New York with. And so I wore it on the plane. I'm wearing my crown today, even though it says 21, which is the drinking age. And I just want for all my sober friends out there to know it is
H2O.
H2O with some bubbles in it.
Yeah.
But I cheers you. And you know what?
Darling.
Because some of us can do it and some of us can't.
Cheers.
So God
All the
bless
best
you.
to you. All right.
Well, I Googled you, and two things come up when you Google you. It says Jamie Lee Curtis age. So I said, oh, let me look at your age.
Age.
It says you're turning 60.
Yes, I'll be 60
on November 22nd.
this year.
So
Thanksgiving.
How does that feel to you? How does 60 feel?
Well, 60 feels like I have no time to waste.
Yeah.
That I have spent plenty of time looking at myself, and that the whole goal of this book is to look at this obsession with ourselves. What are we doing? We are a society of human beings, and we are looking at ourselves. We are obsessed with ourselves, and it is a message for me as an adult, but me that I can convey through a book for children, that we have to turn the camera around. We have to look at the world, listen to Judge. I mean, just listen to the justice right before me. We have to turn the camera around. We have to look at the problems of the world. We have to look at the problems within our relationships, within our families, and we have to fix them by looking out, not in. You know what? I'm 60. Yeah, I'm sitting here on the Today Show with you talking about a book about selfie obsessions and a new movie. I'm happy.
You are the coolest. Jamie Lee Curtis,
happy.
Thank you so much
And I
for
met a
being here.
justice.
How about that?
I met a justice today and a woman. A woman justice.
God, I love today.
Come on.
I was reading an article about you in Variety, and I was struck by it because it was so honest and true and real. And you were talking about your addiction.
Yeah.
And it was very powerful. I found so much of it powerful, but one was there was a moment in your life where everything looked like it was perfect. You were winning awards, writing books, your house was neat, you were married, like life was perfect on the outside, but in your hand you had a fistful of Vicodin. You were in your own home. And what happened in that moment?
In that moment, a friend of mine who's a healer, who's a Brazilian woman who I've known for a long time, was standing behind me, unbeknownst to me. And as I put a handful of Vicodin in my mouth with a glass of wine, as I was beginning the evening routine of making dinner and the kids' dinners and whatever, from behind me, I heard her say, you know, well, it's hard to say it without an accent, which I'm not going to do because you guys will be like, oh my God, she's doing that bad accent. But she said, you know, I see you with your little pills, Jamie, and you think you're so alive and you think you're so fabulous, but you're not. You're dead. You're a dead woman. And that was really the beginning of me understanding. That was in December of '99, and then in January of '99, a wonderful writer named Tom Chiarella in Esquire magazine wrote an article called Vicodin, My Vicodin, about his love affair with Vicodin and his addiction. And the combination of my friend seeing me and Tom writing that article, bravely outing himself, is the reason I got sober, which is the reason why when Variety said to me, we're going to do an issue annually about addiction in show business. We would like you to be the cover girl. Of course, I said yes, simply because Tom Chiarella did it for me in 1999.
You had this secret. Were you worried that when you let your secret out back, even then, that you would lose jobs? You were on commercials.
Of course.
But was that was a big fear?
Well, any secret is fearful.
Yeah.
And there's a recovery phrase that says you're only as sick as your secrets. And the truth is, today, Hoda, I can look in the mirror, and when I'm looking in the mirror, I'm looking at the problem, but I'm also looking at the solution, and the buck stops with me. And in a family of generational addiction, I can tell you today that the buck stops with me. And in that cycle of addiction in a family that has destroyed generation upon generation of families, I am proud to say, so far, today, it's early, right? I am going to arrest my addiction on national television. And can I take 1 second and tell you, I think you should run for president. I think you embody the absolute best because you have little babies at home and you suit up and show up in this incredibly grounded way that makes people feel safe. It's the reason they tune you in. And I just think you're an extraordinary example for all of us. And I wish you were running because I wish you were the president. Sorry, just saying.
Jamie,
that's how I
thank you.
feel.
Thanks for coming by. That was a weird ending.
God bless you.
Okay. Knives Out premieres next week on Thanksgiving. Carson, over to you.
Look out, Oprah 2020. Here's Oda 2020.
It's so good to see you. Look, I was curious about you in quarantine. I was like wondering as I woke up, like I wonder what a typical day in the life is like for Jamie Lee Curtis at home. So what do you do in there?
Well, first of all, it's pitch black here, as you can tell. You know, I'm an active person. I actually have taken advantage of this quarantine and turned it into something very creative. As you mentioned, I have a podcast that's starting today on Audible for young families who didn't get to go to camp this year. You know, camp was horribly canceled because of the pandemic. And here's an opportunity for families to go back to camp in an Audible sort of TV for your ears way. And it's super funny. And so I've been doing that. I started a website. So I've been busy.
When you were a little kid, was like camp one of your jams? Did you love going to camp?
Loved camp. I loved camp so deeply. I'm a slight bit of a control freak, and I like things fairly neat. And so, to me, camp was fabulous because you got to put everything into a trunk and roll up your T-shirts and have your soap in a little soap box. And so I loved the compartmentalization of camp. I loved the fact that you could invent yourself at camp and be kind of a new version of you, which is what I think camp offers children.
I'm so excited to listen to this podcast. I think it's going to be awesome.
It's so funny, and I think your families are going to just love it. It's called Letters from Camp.
Okay, we got it. It's on our list right now. Now, with Halloween Ends, Jamie will be saying goodbye to her iconic character, Laurie Strode, and to the franchise that helped define a genre. What do you keep getting from it?
So I have finally figured it out after 44 years. Laurie Strode represented everybody's sister, everybody's friend. Her beautiful innocence and intelligence and her ability in the moment to never give up. And so for me, the legacy is that I never give up. And even if Jamie has given up, Laurie didn't. And because of that, people around the world look to me as someone who's a survivor and who's faced adversity and has kept going. And I feel privileged that my legacy as Laurie Strode is that.
Do you like horror movies? Do you?
I hate them.
You hate them?
I hate them. I've said I hate them. Hate with a capital H. And I don't use the H word very often. H-A-T-E, capital letters, block letters, underline it, put a box around it. Make it neon, because I don't like to be scared. I was terrified my whole life. I'm constantly like, wait, what?
Yeah. There was just one question left to ask Hollywood Scream Queen on this topic.
What are you going to be for Halloween?
I am Halloween, baby. Mommy is Halloween for the rest of her life till the day I die, and it says, Halloween actress dies. I am Halloween.
I was kind of surprised to watch all the people who said preach. We thought we were in this little group of people who like to tuck in. Sean, talk to us. Yeah.
No, and I've moved the needle a little farther since yesterday, because I'm also challenging musicians to do concerts during the day. You see, why are there no matinees?
Yes!
Okay, but seriously, I would love, for instance, I love Coldplay. I would love to go see Coldplay. I would love it. The problem is, I'm not going to go see Coldplay if they start their show at 9 o'clock and there's an opening act. I want to hear Coldplay at 1 p.m.
Yes, 100%.
And I think if we filled a stadium of people who want to see a matinee of Coldplay, I think we're going to start a trend.
Why shouldn't there be matinees?
Yes.
There is for Broadway. She's so right.
By
This
the way,
is brilliant.
that's brilliant. All right, will you talk to us about, this is really what this is all about too, your Oscar nomination.
Yeah.
I mean, this is such a moment that you're living in. And I mean, do you think about what Oscar night is going to be like?
I don't. I just am not that person. I'm very, as you can tell, very in the moment. I'm not someone with a lot of lofty thoughts for the future. I'm sober, as you guys know, and that is a day at a time kind of thing. And so for me, I'm just trying to be in the moment of the grace of the moment, whatever it is, and leave it to that. The prognosticating and the lists and things I haven't paid any attention to, which is why, if you saw the SAG Awards, you'll saw my face was a little surprised, which is the joy of it. You know what I mean?
It really is. But by the way, it's Oscar night. It's not Oscar matinee.
Yeah, how are you going to do
Not
that?
Oscar
You know what?
afternoon.
Let me remind you of something.
What?
It's Oscar afternoon.
Oh, it is.
Because the truth of the matter is, they start them at 5 o'clock on the East Coast, on the West Coast, which means, which means I'm going to be on that carpet at 2:30. I'm going to be, I mean, it'll be late for me, but I'll be fine.
What about the after parties, Jamie? Come on, you're supposed to take your, if you're Oscar.
Look at her finger. She's
no
giving
after
us
party.
the-
Okay, no.
No.
Okay.
Jamie, we love you to the moon.
I
and
know
back.
you do.
We're
And
rooting for you.
by the way, I send you guys, so here's my message for you guys. This is our love for each other, all of us.
Oh.
Be kind, be kind, be kind.
Love
It's
you.
like,
We love you.
it's your kindness, it's the kindness of women, supporting other women. It's beautiful. And both of you have had a hard thing this last week. I recognize that. We all, it's just we're doing life on life's terms, and you're suiting up and showing up in sleeveless matching tops, and nobody knows this, but your phones match. You both have pink cases.
Oh, we do, actually. That wasn't planned either. You don't miss a trick.
I know, you
what?
guys are twinning like mad here on Morning
You got to
Television.
get up pretty early in the morning to beat Jamie Lee Curtis.
We love you, Jamie Lee. Thank you.
God bless
Thank
you guys.
We're
See you
cheering you
tomorrow
on.
since you're our new correspondent.
Bye.
Okay, good. Bye.
Love you. All right.
Oh, I
We're
love
so
her.
happy right now.
She just makes me happy.
Me too. All right.
Okay.
Dylan, doesn't she do it for you? Come on.
I had a 5:30 dinner reservation last week.
Yes.
I was making fun of, but I was in bed at 9 o'clock.
There you
It was
go.
perfect. Couldn't agree with her more. I love that.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.